Bruchim habaim ledikduk dakot. This grammar video is on the predicate adjective. A predicate adjective, just like an attributive adjective, will agree with the noun that it modifies in both gender and number. So you can see here the adjectives are still in pink and the nouns are in blue. Gadol hadag. Dag is a masculine singular noun, and gadol is a masculine singular adjective. Here, tova ha'ir, ir is a feminine singular noun, and its adjective is correspondingly feminine singular. Now, whereas the attributive adjective followed the noun that it modified, the predicate adjective will generally precede the noun that it modifies. And whereas the attributive adjective always agreed with the noun it modifies in not only gender and number, but also definiteness, predicate adjectives will generally not agree. And they generally won't agree because predicate adjectives will never be definite, ever. So if you have a definite adjective, it's attributive. If you don't have a definite adjective, then you have to decide whether it's attributive or predicate based on if it agrees or not with the noun it modifies. So, both of these examples, the noun is definite and the predicate adjective is not. So, gadol hadag, gadol is big or great, and hadag is the fish. So just as with the attributive adjective, here's an example of the attributive down here below. Just as you had to reverse the order of from Hebrew to English, from hadag, hagadol, the fish, the big, you have to reverse that in English to the big fish. You do the same thing but in the opposite direction with the predicate adjective. So gadol, hadag, big, the fish, you reverse. And so it would be the fish is big. So there's two things you have to keep in mind with predicate adjectives. One is you reverse the word order. The second is you have to insert a version of the verb to be in order to make it work. So here, the fish is big or great. And the same would be true here. The city is good. Squeaky squeak. Now, perhaps the reason that the Hebrew precedes with the attributive adjective, begins with the noun, and follows with the adjective, and in the reverse with the predicate, is that the word order is indicating some kind of emphasis or preference. So with the attributive adjective, the emphasis is on the dog itself, and the adjective, the attributive adjective, is just sort of giving greater specificity, defining an attribute of the dog, of the fish. And so the big fish, right? The emphasis is on the fish, but the adjective is nuancing it a little bit. Perhaps the reverse is true with the predicate adjective. The emphasis is on the adjective part, the greatness of the fish. And so then in translation, the fish is big or great. So perhaps the word order is some subtle indication of definiteness. But to review, all adjectives agree in both gender and number with the noun that they modify. Attributive adjectives will agree in definiteness. Predicate adjectives will generally disagree in definiteness, and the adjective will never be definite. Attributive adjectives usually follow the noun that they modify. Predicate adjectives usually precede the noun that they modify, and both in translation will be reversed. Hope that helps. Lechu leshalom.